Edgehill. It was the first major battle of the English Civil War. It was a time when men trailed pikes and shouldered muskets. Charles I had raised his standard in Nottingham and was heading for London when south of Warwick he encountered a parliamentary army led by the Earl of Essex. The king took his position on the ridge of Edgehill, just here, leaving the lower ground, and I may say the inferior ground, to Essex. In numbers, they were pretty evenly matched, but Essex was waiting for reserves and didn't attempt to close. Eventually, Charles ordered his troops to move down the hill, and the armies faced each other across half a mile of open country. Both were in the usual military formation, infantry here in the center, artillery, cavalry on each flank, here, 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 here. The battle was a classic of the pike and musket period. First, there was an exchange of gunfire. No one ran away, and so the cavalry and then the infantry engaged. It's called a melee. The Royalist cavalry was led by the dashing Prince Rupert of the Rhine, and he swept the Parliamentarian cavalry from the field and chased them for miles. The Royalists were doing very well when Essex revealed his cavalry reserves, who advanced round the now unprotected infantry flank, reaching the royal cannon. They might well have captured the king, but the Royalist cavalry returned in the nick of time. And finally, the infantry, by now exhausted, well, it simply went home. The king claimed a victory, but in fact, Edgehill was more a stalemate. This is the map of our battleground, showing the main features of the terrain. Red on the right for the Royalists, blue on the left for the Parliamentarians. The plain blocks are infantry, the two colour blocks cavalry. Those with a gun pattern are artillery. These are in fact standard symbols. You can see that our players have chosen to set up their troops in exactly the same position as 1642. The Royalists on the ridge, the Parliamentarians on the low ground. In fact, for this period and given this terrain, they'd have been hard put to do anything else and still have a chance of winning. This is the terrain. It's built to scale, and each model represents 20 men. Now, in this opening move, both players are beginning their advance. Before the game, they wrote their battle orders for their own troops and established the caliber of their units. Regular, elite, or raw, using dice. They can countermand orders, but it does take time.
Advantage 2 hard. 2. Period.
Duncan Macfarlane is a very experienced wargamer. Professionally, he's a school librarian in Hull, and today he is commanding the Royalists. Also from Hull, John Tilson, commanding the Parliamentarians. He's an inspector for a dairy.
Nope, he's left his home today. So you don't get any extra for fighting.
Because of the scale, players have to measure move distances. The models can travel only as far as real soldiers could in a real battle in any given time, so that time itself is scaled down. Wargamers have to know their history, about weapons, tactics, in fact anything that could affect troop morale and so disciplines. Chance factors such as weapon accuracy, morale and reaction are all controlled by a dice.
I want to take some points off these pikes. Oh, too dangerous for wargaming. You leave those there to 2 old anyway. That's my movement finished. That's mine as well. Right, artillery fire then.
The big guns.
I'll have the first shot if you don't mind.
That stick measures the range.
This one's got a clear field of fire. Yes. So I'll aim at that pike on there.
Any particular figure?
Over the officer with a pistol. Right, this is the dice for the windage. 6, so it's bang on target. Or the bounce. 6 in the blue section.
Well, it's very good firing, but you've missed everything.
What?
Everything.
Oh, great. The gunners are drunk on this. Well, it was Sunday morning. This gun onto the purple pike column there.
Lord Boots.
Put it over the flag.
Over the flag?
This is the windage. 2 going to the right. A little bit more. That's it.
The blue regiment.
The dice for the bounce.
Each one is a red. Misses everything again.
Again?
Again.
God's blood.
With both flanks
Right,
in
that's
position to
my
charge.
shooting gun. It's your turn.
I think he'll go for the centre.
Yes. I think we will pound your lifeguards into submission, I think. Strike
Yes,
in
he
the
is.
centre of the
2 dice. Again, the first for windage, which is cannonball deflection, and the second for bounce, which means just what it says. The dice throw relates to one of the 4 colours on the stick, and casualties will be under the appropriate colour. Well, it's all marked, as indeed you saw.
On the muskets.
Fall of shot. 3. This is
3.
white.
White.
Anything with a white?
You get 1, 2 musketeers, so 1 in each unit. Oops. That gun?
Yes.
Presumably
You
the
knew
same
the
time. You
target.
don't like life guns.
Windage again.
4.
Fall of shot.
In the blue. Well, you've got 3 out of this regiment. A lucky shot.
Not
for you.
Italy. I believe.
Any more?
That is it. This is a short-range weapon, so...
Yeah. All right, that's it then. Right, let's test the morale of the cavalry units that have come within charge reach.
Troop morale is only part circumstance.
Here and
Is there support?
I think you'll just have the 2 faces.
Is the general there? The rest is luck. So dice, 3 this time. These 2
Yes.
cavalry units are close enough to
Dice,
charge.
these.
But if morale is too low, they'll be
13.
undisciplined and they may run the other way.
Right, 13. I'll +1 for every friendly unit within 15 inches. So that puts me up to 14, 15, 16. See this one through the gap here. 17, 18 for this pike and musket unit here. I get 1 for being uphill, which is 19. And Prince Rupert himself is with that unit, which pluses 3. So that's up to 22. Now, reductions. I don't know if any of your troops are within 50. No, you're out, so there's no reductions. So they have an A-class morale grade, so they will do an uncontrolled advance.
Right.
So that's an automatic charge next move.
And that'll be a compulsory.
Switch unit first. So you counter charge on you?
Well, this
No,
will be
not
the
A
second
class.
possible cavalry
Well,
charge.
just standard signal. We have 10 there, so that's friendly units within 15. There's 1, 2. You think this one 3?
3. Puts you up to 13.
13. C class. You are within 15 inches, aren't you?
Yes, 2 units. Puts you down to 11. Well, you're not going to go into
C
a
class
controlled
will be okay.
advance there, so they will be
So
okay.
they'll counter charge you.
Right, move 2. These cavalry charges are compulsory moves, so shall we leave those and do the infantry first
Just
and come back to
infantry.
them
Okay.
later? Right. Off the hill now, if you want to pluck up courage and come forward.
That's what I'm waiting for you to do.
You bet he's been waiting for that. He's managed to draw Duncan's troops off the hill rather than go to meet them, which would have been to the Royalist advantage, and I think Duncan's going to be very sorry.
Is that all the infantry?
Yes.
Right, well, this is a compulsory charge, which will have to be on that unit, which is the nearest.
Counter charging.
Yep. There's about 17.5 inches between, 17 inches between us, so if we go 8.5 inches forward.
Both men will have ordered support for this charge.
Down here.
In
Okay.
the middle.
This is where you meet your doom. These units have support orders, so we'll move forward behind the charge.
You've been reading my orders.
By the way, melee is just a term for a punch-up. The written orders brought them into range, the dice established that they would go in, and now the dice will decide the outcome.